I like to walk in the morning. Today I want to introduce you to an ancient practice that has helped thousands of people over the age of 60 maintain vitality, balance, and independence. It is an ancient Chinese walking system based on Tai Chi, widely used by seniors in China as part of their daily health routine. Unlike a simple stroll, this way of walking is structured, mindful, and performed with slow and controlled movements. Tai Chi originally emerged as an internal martial art. Its initial purpose involved self-defense, coordination, and body control. However, over the centuries, something very interesting was observed. Older practitioners maintained more stable joints, better posture, and a lower incidence of falls. Over time, the practice began to be used mainly as a therapeutic and preventive health tool, especially among elderly people. Tai Chi-inspired walking strengthens the knees and hip joints, significantly improves balance, and reduces the risk of falls, one of the greatest dangers for those in their senior years. In addition, it helps reduce joint pain, contributes to blood pressure control, and promotes a calming effect on the nervous system. Many practitioners report a feeling of lightness in the legs, improved circulation, and even reduced anxiety. Another extremely positive point is that this practice can be done at home, without the need for sophisticated equipment. The risk of injury is very low, precisely because the movements are performed in a slow, mindful, and controlled manner. By strengthening the legs and stabilizing the hips, this walking method even helps maintain a firmer and more aligned body appearance, even after the age of 60 or 70. It is especially recommended for people between 60 and 80 years old, but it can be adapted according to each person's level of mobility. However, before starting the walking practice itself, it is essential to perform a specific warm-up based on the principles of Tai Chi. This warm-up prepares the joints, activates the deep muscles, and improves body awareness, further reducing any risk. I will explain how to begin the right way. First step, dynamic hip stretching. Here we do not perform the traditional, static stretching in which the muscles are forced. In Tai Chi, the movement is gentle and fluid. Start by slowly shifting your body weight onto one leg. Do this without rushing. Slowness is essential. The goal is not quantity, but quality of movement. After stabilizing your weight on one leg, bring the heel of the other leg forward and gently touch the ground using only your heel. Then, slide your foot slightly farther forward, placing the entire sole on the ground. After that, lightly touch the ground using only your toes. Next, perform the reverse movement. Return by placing the sole of your foot on the ground, then touch the heel again, and go back to the starting position. Repeat this cycle 3 times with the same leg, always maintaining slow and controlled movements. Then switch legs and repeat the same process. It is important to observe the flow. Do not perform the movement in a sudden or rushed way. The motion should feel continuous, almost as if you were drawing an arc on the ground with your foot. Your breathing should follow the rhythm. Inhale gently as you move forward and exhale as you return. There is also a variation that adds upper body coordination work. After placing your heel forward and completing the sequence to the toes, slowly raise your arms to shoulder height, keeping them relaxed without tensing your shoulders. Then gently lower your arms as you return your foot to the starting position. This integration between arms and legs further improves balance, activates the core muscles, and works on fine motor coordination. The great difference of this walking method lies in body awareness. Every movement should be felt. Every weight transfer should be noticed. This strengthens not only muscles and joints, but also the connection between the brain and the body, something essential for preventing falls and maintaining independence in later years. With regular practice, it is possible to notice improved stability while walking, less knee pain, and greater confidence in daily movements. And best of all of this without excessive impact, without overload, and while respecting the body's limits. Tai Chi walking is not just physical exercise. It is a way to take care of the body, calm the mind, and preserve mobility over the years. Now let's continue with the preparation sequence before the main walking practice. As I mentioned, this warm-up phase is essential, especially for people over 60 years old. It activates the joints, improves mobility, and prepares the body for the controlled movements of Tai Chi. After performing 3 repetitions with one leg and 3 with the other in the previous exercise, we move on to mobilizing the ankle joint. This step is extremely important in older age, because the ankle is one of the key joints for balance. A stiff or weak ankle significantly increases the risk of trips and falls. To begin, place your hands on your hips. Keep your posture upright, your abdomen slightly engaged, and your shoulders relaxed. Now bring the heel of one leg forward and gently touch the ground. Then touch the ground using only your toes. Then heel again, and then toes. Heel and toes. Heel and toes. The movement should be slow, controlled, and mindful. It is not a quick, mechanical tap. You need to feel the weight being transferred to the supporting leg. Repeat the same movement with the other leg, touch with the heel, then with the toes. Heel and toes. Always maintaining a slow rhythm. An essential detail, while performing the movement with the leg that is in front, transfer your body weight to the leg that remains behind and keep the knee of that leg slightly bent. This is what we call a soft knee. It is not a deep bend, just a slight activation, enough to maintain stability and protect the joint. There is no need to overdo the repetitions. 3 times for each leg is enough to activate the joint without overloading it. After that, we do a slightly more specific variation. Now, instead of touching the ground with the center of the heel, you will lightly touch with the outer part of the heel. And when touching with the toes, do not use all of them, focus the contact mainly on the big toe. The movement goes like this: outer part of the heel, then big toe. Outer heel, big toe. This gesture slightly resembles movements from traditional dances, because there is a subtle rotation and ankle control involved. Again, 3 repetitions with one leg and 3 with the other. This variation works the smaller muscles of the ankle and foot, strengthening structures that are not normally activated during regular walking. This greatly improves lateral stability, which is essential for preventing sprains. Now we arrive at what is considered the most challenging part of the warm-up, knee preparation. Position your fists in front of your body, approximately at abdomen height. Keep your torso upright. Then slowly lift one leg, bending the knee. When you extend the leg forward, simultaneously make a movement as if giving a light punch forward with your fist. Then return to the starting position. Lift the leg, extend, gentle punch forward, and return. This movement requires considerable control, because you need to completely transfer your body weight onto one leg while performing the gesture with the other. This deeply activates the stabilizing muscles of the hip, knee, and ankle. It is normal to feel that your balance is being challenged. That is precisely why this exercise is so effective. It improves proprioception, the body's ability to sense its position in space, which is essential for preventing falls. The secret of this entire practice lies in slowness. There is no rush. It is not a competition. Each movement should be done slowly, with total control. If possible, play calm music with a gentle rhythm to accompany the movements. This helps maintain focus and turns the exercise into a moment of active relaxation. After completing this full warm-up, which, although it may seem simple, is quite effective, the body will be ready to begin the Tai Chi walking practice itself. Now we can move on to the main practice, with warm joints, activated muscles, and a focused mind. Now we enter the main part of the practice, the walking itself. Within Tai Chi, there are different levels of execution, from the simplest to the most challenging. The most important thing here is to respect your body. We always begin with the simplest version. If, over time, you realize you can progress safely, you may move on to the next level. Otherwise, stay with the basics. There is absolutely no problem with that. In Tai Chi, quality is far more important than complexity. Let's begin with the first movement, the simplest one. Keep your gaze directed forward. Your head aligned, your chin slightly tucked in, as if someone were gently pulling the top of your head upward. Your spine should remain as upright as possible, without excessive stiffness, but with mindful posture. Now observe the movement. You take a step forward, touching the ground first with your heel. Only the heel touches the ground. After that, slowly transfer your body weight onto the front leg. Only after the weight has been fully transferred do you lift the back foot off the ground. Heel touches. Weight transfers. Back leg releases. The steps must be extremely gentle and fluid. This is not an ordinary walk around the house. If you simply walk through the room without control, you will not obtain the desired benefits. The secret lies in the moment of weight transfer. When you touch the ground with your heel and slowly transfer your body weight, something very important happens: the nervous system begins to slow down. The mind enters a state of focus. The body activates deep muscles responsible for balance. This process strengthens the legs because there is a moment of support on a single leg. It is at this moment that the stabilizing muscles work intensely, yet safely. With regular practice, after a few weeks, you will notice something very interesting. When walking on the street, climbing a step, or changing direction, your balance will be steadier. You will feel more secure. And that, after the age of 60, is extremely valuable. This is the first variation, the simplest and completely safe. Now we move on to the second variation, which already requires a bit more strength in the legs. The difference here lies in the depth of the movement. In the first level, the knee of the supporting leg remains only slightly bent, the so-called soft knee. In the second level, as you step forward and transfer your weight, you perform a slightly deeper bend. In other words, when you touch your heel to the ground and transfer your weight, you allow the knee of the front leg to bend a bit more. It is not a deep squat, but it is a more pronounced lowering than in the basic version. However, this should only be done if your legs allow it. If you feel instability, excessive weakness, or a sense that you might lose your balance, do not force it. Immediately return to the simpler version. Tai Chi should never cause fear or tension. The practice must be safe. For those who are just starting, it is recommended to remain in the basic version for a few weeks, until the leg muscles gain enough strength to support a deeper bend with stability. In the second variation, the benefits increase because the thigh muscles, especially the quadriceps, begin to work more intensely. The hips are also more activated, which contributes to pelvic stability and knee protection. But remember, the depth of the movement must respect your limits. There is no competition. There is gradual progress. If you feel that you can maintain control, balance, and calm breathing even with a slightly deeper bend, then you are ready to progress. If not, stay with the basics, and that will already be extremely beneficial for your health. The most important thing is to maintain slowness, control, and body awareness in every step. That is what transforms a simple walk into a powerful exercise for joints, balance, and longevity. Now let's go deeper into the second level of the walking practice. Here, as you step forward, you continue to touch the ground first with your heel and then transfer your weight to the entire sole of your foot. But there is an important difference: your legs remain slightly bent for almost the entire movement. It is not a deep bend like a traditional squat, but it is also not the relaxed posture of ordinary walking. You maintain a lower position, with your knees gently bent, and walk in this way. And you might ask yourself, what is the advantage of this? The advantage lies in muscle activation. When you walk with your legs slightly bent and slowly transfer your weight, the following muscles engage intensely: the back of the thigh, hamstrings; the gluteal muscles; the front of the thigh, quadriceps. During the moment of transfer, you may allow the knee of the front leg to extend gently, but always with control. Nothing abrupt. This is the second level, already more challenging, as it requires strength, coordination, and muscular endurance. Now let's move on to the third level. Here, in addition to walking slowly forward, you begin to incorporate backward movement. First, perform a few steps forward in the same way: heel touches, transfer the weight, stabilize. Then stop and begin to perform the same pattern in reverse walking. But pay attention, when you walk backward, the sequence changes. You begin by touching the ground with your toes. Then you roll the foot from the toes toward the heel. And then transfer the weight onto that leg. Toes, roll to the heel, transfer the weight. Then repeat with the other leg. This pattern requires even more balance, because walking backward naturally challenges our stability. And that is exactly why this exercise is so powerful for fall prevention. By training your body to control movement in different directions, you strengthen the neuromuscular system, the communication between the brain and the muscles. Now we arrive at the fourth level, the most challenging of all. This level should only be practiced after a few months of consistent training in the previous levels. Do not rush. Gradual progression is an essential part of the Tai Chi philosophy. In the fourth level, you keep your legs more bent, walk forward and backward with greater control, and may add coordinated arm movements. The posture remains lower for longer, significantly increasing muscle activation. This level strengthens virtually all the leg muscles: glutes, inner thighs, adductors, outer thighs, abductors, quadriceps, and hamstrings. Over time, you will notice something interesting. In addition to improving balance and reducing joint pain, the appearance of your legs changes. The glutes become firmer, the inner and outer thighs gain more tone, and overall posture improves. And all of this without impact, without jumping, and without aggressive stress on the joints. This is the great strength of Tai Chi-inspired walking. It works strength, balance, coordination, and mental control at the same time. It is a practice that protects your joints while strengthening your body. But remember, progress only when you feel safe. True progress comes from consistency, not from rushing. If you practice this walking regularly, you can be sure your friends will notice the difference. Not only in your posture, but in the firmness of your legs, your balance while walking, and even in the way you move in daily life. Now I will explain in more detail how this more advanced movement works. The essence lies in the coordination between leg elevation, mindful stepping, and controlled weight transfer. Imagine that you are walking forward. You take a step, touch the ground with your heel, transfer the weight, and stabilize. Up to this point, it is the same as what we have already learned. But now we add an important element. Before taking the next step, you lift the back leg in a controlled manner. So the sequence goes like this. You take a step forward. Transfer the weight. Lift the leg that remained behind. Place that leg in front. And perform the movement again. Step, stabilize. Lift the leg, place it. New step. Then repeat, lifted, placed, step. The key detail is the mindful lifting of the leg. It is not dragging your foot along the ground. It is truly lifting the foot off the floor, maintaining balance on the other leg for a few seconds. This small moment of single leg support is extremely valuable for strengthening the hips and knees. Now imagine performing the same movement backward. And here the level of difficulty increases considerably. You are standing. Lift one leg. Move that leg backward. Touch the ground with your toes. Roll the foot back toward the heel. Transfer the weight. Then lift the other leg. Move it backward. Touch with the toes, roll to the heel, transfer the weight. This pattern requires much more neuromuscular control because the brain needs to organize movement in a less habitual direction. Walking backward activates different areas of the balance system. In addition, there is an extra benefit. By lifting the leg before placing it on the ground, you intensely work the hip flexors, the glutes, and the deep pelvic stabilizers. It is a complete exercise disguised as slow walking. But pay attention, if you feel insecure when trying this version, practice near a wall or a sturdy chair for support. Safety always comes first. The secret remains the same: slowness, control, and body awareness. When you lift your leg, keep your torso stable. Do not lean your body to compensate. Your abdomen should remain slightly engaged. Your breathing should be calm. If practiced regularly, 3 to 4 times per week, this type of walking can dramatically improve your stability when walking on the street, climbing stairs, or getting up from a chair. And with time, in addition to the functional gain, you will notice something aesthetic as well: greater firmness in the back of the thighs, more activated glutes, and better body alignment. And over time, in addition to functional gains, you will also notice aesthetic changes: greater firmness in the back of the thighs, more activated glutes, and better body alignment. That is the power of a simple practice done with awareness. It is not just walking. It is training balance, strength, coordination, and presence all at the same time. Do you see how this exercise is not just physical? The great difficulty, and at the same time the great benefit, lies in the fact that your brain needs to be fully focused. While performing the movement, you need to think about posture, correct weight transfer, foot position, proper knee flexion, and at the same time maintain balance. In other words, it is not an automatic walk. It is a mindful practice. Your brain works intensely to coordinate all these elements at the same time. It needs to organize movement, control muscle activation, and monitor balance. That is why many people describe this experience as a true mental awakening. It is as if the brain is challenged to step out of automatic mode. And it is precisely this challenge that brings so many benefits. When you practice this slow and controlled walking, a powerful combination occurs. Deep muscle activation. Stimulation of the balance system. Coordination between body and mind. Sustained mental focus. This combination generates very important physiological effects. By moving slowly and maintaining calm breathing, the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for relaxation, begins to activate. This helps reduce stress levels and, consequently, may contribute to lowering blood pressure. At the same time, the constant balance work strengthens the connections between the brain, muscles, and joints. This improvement in neuromuscular communication is essential after the age of 60, as this is precisely the connection that often begins to weaken with aging. Therefore, this walking practice does not strengthen only the legs. It trains the brain. It trains attention. It trains stability. And the more you practice, the more natural the control becomes. You begin to feel more secure when walking on the street, changing direction, climbing stairs, or getting out of bed. This is the true power of this technique. It calms the mind, helps control blood pressure, strengthens the body, and develops balance all at the same time. It is not just an exercise. It is an integrated practice of body and brain. And the most interesting part is that this stops being that boring balance exercise that many people do only out of obligation. Here we are talking about a practice that can be incorporated into your daily life, almost like a personal self-care ritual. It is not something mechanical. It is not repetitive in a tiring way. On the contrary, it is a mindful, slow, almost meditative walk. You can play soft background music, something calm that matches the rhythm of your movements. This transforms the exercise into a moment of peace. As you move slowly, paying attention to each step, you begin to feel a kind of serenity. The mind slows down. The breathing regulates. The body comes into harmony with the movement. And this state of calm is not just emotional, it has real physiological effects, helping to reduce stress and promoting overall well-being. That is why it is worth making this practice a daily habit. Just a few minutes per day are enough to generate important benefits over the weeks. But it is essential to remember, before starting any new physical activity, especially after the age of 60, talk to your doctor. Each person has a specific health condition. There may be joint, cardiovascular, or neurological limitations that need to be evaluated. The practice is safe, but professional guidance is always important. If your doctor approves, start slowly, respect your limits, and progress gradually. And if you found this information helpful, share it with your friends, family, and acquaintances. Many people over 60 are looking for safe ways to strengthen the body, improve balance, and reduce pain without resorting to aggressive exercises. Sharing knowledge is also a way of caring.